Here's Fast Eddie's in Tok. It's dark and it's raining, so I couldn't do much photography. But heading on down the road. They don't open for another 2.5 hours. But if you're in Tok, I recommend good food at Fast Eddie's. That, and I like the name too.
Heading over to the U.S.-Canada border. Starts getting rough by Northway, over to the U.S. border, then over to the Canadian border, and in the no man's land in between. This is just some samples of the rough road. Show you what it's like. You're going along, all of a sudden a bunch of potholes. It gets pretty rough over there in that area. Try to plan accordingly if you're driving, so you can take the time. You start speeding up, then all of a sudden the potholes show up again, and the damages show up again. So some areas they're able to fill in with gravel, but even that gets washboarded and rough until they get it sealed up. This is showing some more vibration and big potholes that show up. So try and take the time, driving in the night a little bit here, and we'll be getting a nice sunrise in a little while. Trying to capture those potholes, but it's hard to get them truly represented on camera. Here's a sunrise starting up about 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock. Starts peeking through, bouncing off the clouds. We're going to soon here be just trying to represent some of the sunrises that we've seen. We've seen a lot of sunrises on the road trip, but that one was kind of nice because it came out of rain in Alaska and it started getting clear by then. Here we are, a little time lapse showing a bit of the road and some of the construction a little bit there, little patches. This is some more sunrise right as we're approaching the U.S. border. And I could see from this outlook, had a pretty good sunrise on the horizon. Then coming up here is the U.S. custom border. Took a couple pictures as I drove through. You don't have to stop when you're leaving, only when you're coming in. So this is customs as I was passing by, and then I have one with them in my mirror. That's U.S. Customs. Heading over to Canada. Then there's some flags representing Alaska and USA near the border, and right just down a little ways is the Canadian on the Canadian side. So that's pretty good representation. Some more construction and time lapse there a little bit, a little beat up road. Getting a little rough. And this is in what I like to call no man's land between the US border and Canadian border. This is actually on the Canadian side, and be pulling up here to the land of kilometers, Yukon. And this next sign is the land of kilometers. So get used to reading your speedometer. And this is Canadian Customs. Had a real nice lady there in Customs. Asked me a few questions. Do you have this? Do you have that to enter Canada? Pretty amazing to have a Canadian French accent that's far west. But this is a little bit going through a few patch zones. A little bit of gravel, a little bit of dust. We're used to that in Alaska, but some of the other places. Some vistas showing some white cap mountains. Here are a little time lapse, trying to show some of the road and right away. Jag's looking pretty clean for going through gravel and construction. Try to clean it up once in a while, but kill a lot of bugs. It's amazing how many bugs get accumulated on the car. A little more time lapse, a little bridge that my dad would appreciate. And also trying to capture the bugs, trying to find the right lighting to show on the windshield. And here's some of the windshield trying to show some of the bugs. There's just so many smears and streaks, and then same with the front bumper and the grill too. I end up cleaning the windshield a couple times in Canada and then also down in lower 48. I try to capture it and put it in a couple of these videos. I might have to make a video just on bugs itself because there's so many. It's hard to kind of get to capture the detail. It's a matter of the contrast with the sky, but usually get a hillside or something there and then you can see them a little bit better. But it just gets to a point where you just have to stop and clean the windshield to be able to see looking through those during low sun events. So there's another sunset coming up, and we're heading down towards Watson Lake, down past Whitehorse, and this is Alaska Road Trippers. We'll see you on down the road.